Discover incredible and touching transformations, 100 unexpected speeches that change lives forever. Emma Johnson stood in the middle of the diner, staring at the faded linoleum beneath her feet, a tattered reminder of a pride that once thrived. Her father's laughter seemed trapped in the walls, a haunting echo in a place now filled with empty booths and solitude. This was not just a diner, it was a shrine to his dreams, and it was slipping through her fingers. All around her, the whispers of the townsfolk grew louder, a blend of skepticism and nostalgia, casting doubt on her ability to uphold her father's legacy. She felt the tight knot of anxiety in her chest grow heavier each day, battling not just the weight of student loans but also the burden of expectation. Would she live up to the heroics of a man they all remembered? In the attic, dust motes danced in the sunlight peeling through a cracked window. Emma discovered yellowed letters stacked high, words penned in her father's familiar hand, promising resilience, unity, and reminders of the American dream. Suddenly, a surge of hope washed over her. Inspired, she envisioned a revival, a weekly open mic night where everyone would share their stories, raw and real, transforming the diner back into a community hub. When she first announced it, the same skeptical eyes met her. But slowly, people began to come. The first night, the Vietnam veteran stood, his hands trembling as he recalled the brothers he lost in battle. It was more than just words, it was a raw wound laid bare, and the diner held its breath, remembering the price of freedom. The applause that followed wasn't just a clap for bravery, it was acknowledgement of shared sorrow and strength. Then came a single mother, her voice cracking but steady, as she shared her fight against despair, every struggle leading to her daughter's bright smile. Tears fell, not just from her eyes but from others, true hope blossomed in the unlikeliest of places. Lastly, a bullied teenager came forward, her art spilling from her heart, reclaiming her voice as she painted her fears on canvas and showed the community that beauty emerges from pain. Each story deepened their bond, and Emma knew she was onto something big. The diner was transforming from a relic of the past into a sanctuary of resilience. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. But just as the shadows of revival began to fade, a dark cloud loomed. Corporate chains eyed the diner, seeking to squash everything Emma and her community had built. She felt the weight of desperation as she stood once again in the place where her father had once inspired countless lives. Her heart raced with an urgency she had never known. Could she gather the community's strength? As she prepared to summon the spirit of her father to rally everyone together, doubts began creeping in. Would they follow her, or would this brave new chapter lead to another heartbreak? Then, an unexpected find, a letter tucked in a dusty box. Could this be the key to not just saving the diner, but to her own identity? As Emma prepared for a final showdown, she wondered, could the heart of the community still beat strong, or was she attempting to heal wounds better left untouched? Emma felt the letter tremble in her hands, as if it held the weight of her father's dreams and unfulfilled promises. She scanned its wrinkled pages, breath hitching as she read his familiar script. It was a letter of encouragement, a blueprint of his hopes for her, the diner, the community, and the power of connection. Each word vibrated with love, a lifeline thrown from the past to save her present. Her heart swelled as she realized this wasn't just about the diner. It was about the legacy of courage and community her father had instilled in her. Did she have it in her to fight back against the impending corporate takeover? Could she rally the townsfolk to stand up for something much bigger than themselves? With newfound determination, Emma made her way down to the diner, the letter safely tucked in her pocket as if it were a talisman. The small space pulsed with the energy of a community hungry for change. She could see the faces of the regulars, the weary but hungry souls who found solace within these walls. She climbed onto the makeshift stage, her heart pounding in her chest. Everyone. She called out, her voice cutting through the murmurs. They turned to her, curiosity sparking in the air. "I need you now more than ever." She would share her father's letter, which spoke to each of them, their collective heartbeat echoing in the diner. "This place isn't just a diner, it's our home. It's where we find solace, where we find strength." My father believed in the power of our stories. As she spoke, she felt the energy shift. The room that once buzzed with disbelief was now filled with hope. The stories shared during open mic nights had built a fragile tapestry of connection, but now it was time to thread it tighter with determination. Her voice steadied as she recounted her father's dreams. She invited others to share their stories, urging them to remember the moments of community that kept the diner alive, the laughter, the tears, the solidarity shown in times of need. People began nodding, voices murmuring in agreement, finding their own courage. "Let us not let anyone take this from us. Let us show them we are stronger than they think." Emma's heart thudded with every word, the room vibrating with a sense of purpose, fueling her resolve. With every supportive sound from the crowd, Emma felt the barriers crumble. Together, they started brainstorming ideas. They could host a community fair, call a town meeting, even a petition against the diner's closure. The excitement buzzed in the air like a live wire, urging Emma to push forward with her vision. But as they shared laughter and hopes, doubt also lingered on the edges of her mind. What if it wasn't enough? What if the power was too great, and despite their efforts, the diner wouldn't survive? Yet, she shook off those thoughts, willing herself to lean into hope. "Together, we can do this," she breathed, feeling the power of unity swirl around her. "Let us make this diner what it was meant to be, a beacon of hope, community, and love." As she looked around, the sight of her neighbors leaning in with shared dreams ignited a flicker of fear and exhilaration. But when would they have to face the harsh reality of fighting something so formidable? Could their shared voices and stories withstand the corporate giants looming ever nearer? The first steps to rally support felt promising, but Emma knew the stakes were high. Tomorrow would reveal a new challenge, one that could either break them or bind them closer together. As the laughter faded into late evening whispers, she realized, she had only just begun to uncover the heart of the battle. What lay ahead remained uncertain, but she was ready. And at that moment, she understood it was time to reach out, to dig deep, and face the pivotal confrontation ahead, one that would either crush their spirit or transform it forever. What would they discover about themselves when the time came to fight for what they truly believed in? The next morning arrived with a haze of uncertainty hanging in the air. Emma could hardly believe the weight of the task ahead. She rubbed her eyes, the effects of a restless night evident in the shadows beneath them. Stepping outside, she took a deep breath, filling her lungs with the fresh morning air tinged with hints of coffee wafting through the open door of the diner. As she arrived at the diner, she caught sight of a few regulars already gathered, animatedly discussing plans. An idea sparked within her, igniting her heart with warmth. This was what her father dreamed of, a place that brought people together, where hope blossomed amid fear and uncertainty. "Morning," she greeted, a shaky smile touching her lips. The warmth from their smiles gave her courage to proceed. "Emma, we were just thinking we should start with flyers," said George, a gray-haired man who had been coming to the diner since its opening. "Get the word out about the meeting tonight. And maybe even plan a rally." "Yeah," chimed in Marcy, a spirited school teacher. "We could make banners. I have a ton of supplies at home." Her enthusiasm was infectious, lightening the weight on Emma's shoulders. Encouraged, Emma jumped in. "Let us do it. Let us make it a community event and invite everyone. We want their stories front and center. We'll show everyone how much this diner means to us." The chatter grew louder, and voices filled the diner with laughter and excitement. Emma felt herself breathe again, soaking in this feeling of unity. However, a flutter of nerves still swirled in her stomach. This was just the beginning. As the hours melted away, the diner transformed. The small kitchen echoed with the sound of slicing vegetables, while tables filled with vibrant flyers adorned with bold letters and colorful illustrations were strewn across every surface. The once quiet diner began to feel alive with purpose. Let's name the event something catchy, something that reflects what this place stands for, Emma suggested, stitching together her thoughts. The idea hung in the air, drawing curious glances and thoughtful hums. "Connections rally!" shouted Max, a sharp-witted college student who often surprised them all with his creativity. "It's about the connections we've made here and how we need to rally for them." "Perfect!" Emma beamed, holding on to the essence of what they were creating. It wasn't simply a rally, it would be a celebration of their shared history, of struggles, of victories, and most importantly, their unwavering love for the diner. The day rolled on, and by dusk, the diner took on an electric glow. As Emma peered out, a flood of people was arriving, their faces lit with hope and purpose. The warmth pooled in her chest, a feeling she hadn't anticipated. Maybe, just maybe, they could raise their voices high enough to be heard. When the meeting began, she could sense that familiar anxious buzz. Everyone seemed to hold their breath, waiting for her to speak. Emma stood up to address the crowd, her heart racing as she looked at all the faces gathering for the cause. They were here because they believed in something greater than just the diner. But suddenly, a familiar figure stepped through the door. It was the corporate representative sent to oversee the takeover, his confidence casting a shadow. Emma's heart dropped, her resolve wavering as the reality of their battle nested in her mind. What if they weren't ready for this fight? What if their voices were drowned out by a corporate agenda? She took a deep breath, the rallying cries of her friends reminding her of their strength, of the love and dreams woven into the fabric of this community. How would she rise to this unexpected challenge? As soon as the representative approached her, Emma's heart pounded louder, like a drum signaling the start of a fight. Would her words be enough? Could this crowd's spirit triumph against the looming threat? The room buzzed with energy, and Emma glared at the intruder, ready to harness the collective passion of the community. This was her moment to correlate their fight for their legacy. What would happen next, when she stood face to face with the very power threatening to tear it apart? Emma's heart raced as she locked eyes with the corporate representative. She could feel the weight of everyone's attention on her, the collective energy of the crowd pulsing like a living thing. She was terrified, but she pushed that fear aside. This wasn't just about her, it was about them. All these faces familiar, supportive, united, that's what mattered. The representative wore a suit like armor, exuding a confidence that made her stomach churn. He took a step forward, his expression unreadable, and cleared his throat. "Good evening, everyone," he said, smoothly. "I'm here to discuss our plans for the diner and assure you that our intentions are for the betterment of this community." There was something disingenuous in his voice, something that made Emma bristle. She could hear murmurs amongst the crowd, a mix of skepticism and confusion. She needed to act, to reclaim the narrative before the room became too swayed by this stranger's reassuring tone. "Just a moment," she interrupted, her voice rising above the murmurs. "This diner isn't just a business, it's a part of our lives. We share laughter, tears, dreams, and memories here. And we won't let someone come in and take that away from us." A surge of affirmation rippled through the group. Heads nodded, and she saw someone pump a fist in the air. The representative's confident facade faltered for a brief moment, surprise flashing across his face. "Let's not get carried away," he replied, attempting to regain control. "Change is part of progress. We are offering modern solutions that will enhance modern solutions." Marcy interjected, stepping up beside Emma. "You see a diner. We see generations of families sharing meals, children getting their first tastes of pancakes, friends gathering to celebrate milestones. You can't just swoop in with shiny new ideas and expect us to roll over. We are the heart of this community." Cheers erupted, filling the space with a chorus of supportive voices. Emma felt strength swell within her. She could see it in their eyes. This was no longer about a diner. It was about standing together. Let us share our stories. She shouted, embracing the energy. Let us show him the love we have for this place. Who wants to speak? Hands shot up, voices eager and passionate. One by one, community members shared their connections to the diner, the couple who had their first date here, the young artists who found inspiration in its walls, the memories that bound them all. Emma listened, her heart soaring, weaving together their collective dreams. Tears glistened in the eyes of some as stories flowed like an emotional river. Each word added fuel to their cause. See. Emma turned to the representative, her chin lifted defiantly. This isn't just about bricks and mortar. It's about us. It's about love, hope, and connection. And we're not about to let you take that away. The representative's confidence began to crumble, uncertainty pooling beneath his polished exterior. Emma watched the doubt reflected in his eyes, realizing she now held the upper hand. She felt bold with her community behind her, emboldened by their shared affection for the diner. But just as she thought they were gaining momentum, a few members of the crowd silenced, the door swinging open for a second time. Emma's heart skipped a beat when she saw a familiar face. It was her brother, Jake, his eyes wide with concern. Emma! He shouted, rushing toward her as murmurs spread through the crowd. You have to listen to me. The intense energy shifted as Emma's heart raced with anxiety. What news did he bring? Was it good or bad? And how would it change everything she'd just ignited? She felt a shift in the air, a tension that made her skin prickle. Emma held her breath, facing him. What had he seen that could affect their rally? What would happen to the dreams they had just awakened? She had to know. Emma's eyes narrowed as she took in her brother's frantic expression. The world around her seemed to narrow, focusing only on him. The crowd was a blur now, their voices dim, anxiety pooling in her stomach. What's wrong, Jake? She demanded, her voice steady despite the chaos inside her. He pulled her aside, urgency etched on his face. It's about the diner. The new owners aren't who they say they are. Shock crashed over her like a wave. What do you mean? They're just a corporate group trying to modernize it. No, it's deeper than that. I overheard them yesterday. Their plans, they include demolishing the whole building. A new shopping complex, they said. They want to wipe out everything. His voice trembled, disbelief coloring his words. Emma felt the full weight of his statement plunge into her heart. Dismantling the diner? It was more than just a building to them. It was a symbol, a canvas of shared experiences. But we just started to fight for it. We can't let this happen. I know. That's why I'm here. We need to change our strategy, bring everyone together and fight back, but we need to act fast. Her heart raced, a blend of fear and determination surging through her. Jake's words ignited a fire in her chest. If this was happening, if they were really trying to erase everything, they had to stand united now more than ever. Rejoining the crowd, Emma's presence felt stronger. Everyone. She called, the urgency in her voice capturing their attention. Jake just found out some critical news. These people aren't just here for change, they want to destroy every memory we've made in this diner. We can't let that happen. Gasps echoed through the crowd, the shift was instant. Eyes widened, and disbelief rippled like a stone tossed into a pond. Emma continued, her voice rising above the panic, but we are more than just customers. We are a part of this place. We'll fight for every laugh, every tear, and every shared meal. The crowd erupted in a fervor. Fear turned into fierce resolve as voices chimed in. We can rally together. A woman in the front shouted. Let us hold meetings. Gather our stories and present them. A man a few rows back called out, petitions. We can create petitions. As ideas sparked like a firework overhead, Emma felt her heart lift. They were no longer just standing against the corporate threat, they were forming a movement. She could practically feel the energy around her crackling, lights igniting in each person's eyes as hope replaced despair. But even amidst the excitement, there was a lingering doubt in her chest. Could they really save the diner? Was their love strong enough to protect what meant so much? Suddenly, a voice cut through the gathering. "You're all just wasting your time." It was the corporate representative, stepping forward again, his steel eyes glowering. "This is corporate business. We don't care about your nostalgia. You'll regret this." Emma's resolve hardened. She raised her chin defiantly, unwavering. "You underestimate us. We're not just a bunch of nostalgic dreamers. We are a community. And we're going to show you just how powerful our memories can be." Cheers erupted, fueled by a wave of exhilaration. Emma felt herself swept up in their energy, the warmth of shared hope igniting her spirit. Together, they could do this. Together, they would fight. As momentum built, Jake's hand grasped her shoulder. "Emma, I have a plan. We can't just rely on words. We need something bigger, a show of unity they can't ignore." Her heart raced. What could they possibly do that would have such an impact? She could already feel the adrenaline pumping through her veins, and the excitement of uncertainty washed over her. "What do you have in mind?" she asked, breathless, as the crowd buzzed with anticipation. This, he paused, looking into her hopeful eyes. Could be the start of a movement. And in that moment, a new idea began to take shape in Emma's mind. She could see it crystal clear, a public event, right in front of the diner, to showcase their love and support. But would it be enough to rally everyone together? In time? As she glanced out at the crowd, she couldn't shake the question forming at the edge of her thoughts: what lengths would they have to go to protect what they loved? The next morning, Emma woke up to a flurry of excitement and nerves. She could hardly eat breakfast with her mind racing over the plans she and Jake had discussed. They needed to gather everyone, share stories, and create something big. But it all felt so monumental. She had spent countless hours in the diner, enjoying every corner of its charm, every regular face, and the sense of belonging it brought. She could already hear the clinking of coffee mugs and laughter in her ears. The comforting aroma of pancakes and bacon filled her with a sense of determination. A protest wouldn't just be about saving the diner, it would be about preserving memories, community, and love. A rally that's what we need, she whispered to herself, a spark igniting within her. She grabbed a notebook and began jotting down her thoughts, ideas spilling out as she wrote. After a morning of brainstorming ideas, Emma met with Jake at the diner. He was already talking to a few locals, gathering support to mobilize the community. She approached him, brimming with energy. "Jake, what if we turn this into more than just a protest? What if we included a storytelling event? We could invite everyone to share their favorite diner memories, have music, maybe even food samples." Jake's eyes lit up. "That's brilliant. People remember stories more than slogans. We need everyone to feel how much the diner means to them." As they brainstormed, the diner slowly filled with their friends and supporters, eager to help. Word spread, and people began approaching them with ideas. A local musician offered to perform, while someone else proposed creating a large banner made of photos and handwritten memories. They were painting a picture of a united front. Each new contribution felt larger than life. The sense of urgency grew, but as the plan took shape, they quickly realized they needed to settle on a date. They chose the upcoming Saturday, just a week away. It was tight, but the community buzzed with anticipation. Hope wrapped around them like a blanket, but so did the pressure of the looming deadline. As the days rolled on, Emma spent every waking moment organizing. Each evening, she and Jake would meet with passionate supporters, forging connections, and laying out a timeline. Flashes of self-doubt crept in at times. Was this enough? Could they really captivate a crowd that would sway corporate hearts? She called on the spirit of the diner, reminding herself of why they were doing this. On Friday night, they gathered to finalize everything. The diner glowed warmly, a sanctuary filled with laughter and whispers. Each face was a mix of hope and determination, carrying the weight of memories they were fighting to hold on to. The anticipation was electric, but so were the nerves. Emma stood up in front of everyone, her heart pounding. "Tomorrow, we'll show just how powerful our stories are," she began. "This is about more than a building, it's about our lives. Let us make our voices heard in unison." Everyone nodded, excitement brewing in the air like the aroma of fresh coffee. But just as they were about to finalize their plans, Jake's phone buzzed. He checked it and his expression fell. "It's from the diner's new owners. They want to meet tomorrow morning before our event." Emma's chest tightened as she felt the weight of expectation shift again. "What do we do?" Jake looked into her eyes, uncertainty mingling with bravery. "Should we hear them out? What if they are offering something?" "No. We can't let them manipulate us. We have to stick to the plan." Emma felt the pulse of passion igniting her words. "We'll show them that our community matters more than their profits." But an unsettling thought gnawed at her. What if they had a hidden agenda? And what if that meeting threatened everything they were building together? As they walked out of the diner together, the night air felt charged, full of possibility. Emma could hear the laughter and whispers still echoing behind them, a reminder of what they were fighting for. What if that meeting would change everything? Would their efforts pay off, or would it all come crashing down? And with the dawn, the real battle would begin. As the first light broke through the sky, Emma felt a surge of determination. She didn't sleep much. Her mind had been racing all night. The diner had become a symbol of their community. It wasn't just about the food, it was about connection, laughter, and the warmth of shared moments. The thought of that being stripped away filled her with an urgency she couldn't ignore. Jake had already arrived at the diner when she pulled into the parking lot. His face was lined with concern. "Are you ready for this?" he asked, searching her eyes for reassurance. Emma nodded, though doubt bubbled beneath the surface. "Ready as I'll ever be. We need to stay focused." The sun was shining brightly, and people began to trickle in, filling the diner with the usual chatter, but today's atmosphere felt different. There was an electric anticipation in the air. Friends and neighbors gathered at tables, their faces slightly tense but with an undercurrent of excitement. They kicked off the morning with a brief meeting. Jake stood in front of everyone, assembling them like he was leading a rally. "We're not here to fight a losing battle," he said passionately. "We're here to show that this diner means something a lot more than they know." As they discussed strategies, Emma's heart pounded in her chest. Each person's story came pouring out, heartwarming tales about anniversaries celebrated, friendships forged, and even tears shed over a slice of pie. It became clear, the diner wasn't just a place, it was a lifeline. Then, in a quiet moment, an older gentleman named Mr. Thompson, who had been a fixture at the diner for decades, spoke up. "I remember the first day I came here. I was lonely and lost, but this place welcomed me. It gave me a home." His voice cracked, and everyone listened intently. Emma felt the emotional weight of his words thrum in the air. That's it. That's what they needed to capture the heart of the diner. "What if we record these stories?" she suggested, her eyes lighting up. "We can share them during the rally, let people hear what this place means to us." The group nodded enthusiastically. Ideas flew around as they planned a simple recording setup. They wanted everyone to feel safe and comfortable sharing. As they embraced this new initiative, Emma's nerves shifted to excitement. Jack pulled her aside, glancing at her with a mix of admiration and curiosity. "You really think this will work? Sharing their stories?" "I know it will," Emma replied with conviction. "We're not just fighting for a roof over our heads, we're fighting for a community that has somehow forgotten how to fight for itself. We'll get through to them." Friday turned into Saturday faster than Emma could comprehend. Morning arrived with a rush of adrenaline. They set up tables outdoors, vibrant banners unfurling in the soft wind. Memories photos from diners long gone to local faces were displayed for all to see. Each story waited for a voice, the air thick with anticipation for the crowd that would soon gather. But just before the event started, Emma spotted a sleek car pull into the diner's lot. The new owners emerged, suits crisp and faces stern. Emma's chest tightened again. Anxiety ricocheted through her, and she glanced at Jake. "This is it, isn't it? They came to rattle us before we even begin." Jake's face mirrored her growing concern. "Should we confront them?" "No. Not now. Let us stick to the plan. We have a story to tell." Emma gripped Jake's arm, feeling unity radiate from their intertwined pasts, squeezing the fear away. As people began arriving, filling the patio and stepping into the diner, Emma's heart swelled. The mixed sounds of laughter and stories energized her spirit. Maybe this wasn't just about saving a diner, it was about reigniting a community. Yet, the looming presence of the new owners hovered overhead like a storm cloud ready to burst. Would their collective stories resonate enough against corporate indifference? Would they move hearts and, more importantly, change minds? Emma took a deep breath, realizing that moments away from their protest, everything was teetering on the brink of change. But did they have what it takes? The clock was ticking, and choices loomed ahead. As the clock inched closer to noon, the chatter grew louder around the diner. The familiar scent of freshly brewed coffee mixed with the sweet aroma of pancakes being flipped on the griddle. Emma stood at the edge of the patio, clutching a notepad filled with names and stories. Her heart raced, fueled by the gravity of what they were about to do. With a deep breath, she stepped forward and tapped the microphone. It crackled to life, silencing the crowd. "Thank you all for being here today. This diner is more than just a building, it's a piece of our lives. Each one of you represents a story, and we're here to share those stories." A ripple of encouragement surged through the crowd. Emma gestured to Mr. Thompson, who nodded with a gentle smile. "Mr. Thompson, would you like to start?" The older gentleman rose slowly, his cane tapping against the wood floor as he approached the microphone. She watched as his eyes scanned the familiar faces, friends, neighbors, the community he loved dearly. "Thank you, Emma," he said, his voice quavering but steady. "This diner has seen me through my loneliest days. It's where I've celebrated birthdays, met friends, and even found love." His voice cracked slightly, and Emma could see tears forming in the corners of his eyes. "It's a home for all of us." The crowd erupted in applause, and Emma's heart swelled with pride. One by one, people took their turns sharing their stories, each tale echoing with laughter or pulling at the heartstrings. A woman claimed the mic next, recalling how she met her husband at a booth that still bore the remnants of countless coffee cups. Another young man shared how he found solace here during tough times, his confessions met with nods and supportive murmurs. Amidst the joy, Emma's gaze kept straying back to the two stark figures of the new owner standing uneasily at the edge of the crowd. Their expressions were unreadable, a mixture of concern and defensiveness. She knew their presence was a threat, but today wasn't about them. As more voices chimed in, a powerful circle of connection formed in the heart of the diner. Just as she felt optimism blooming, the unexpected happened. A sudden shout erupted from the back. The owner in the dark suit had raised a hand, demanding attention. "This is an outrage. You can't just stand here making these stories up." His voice thundered, slicing through the atmosphere, casting a heavy pall over the celebration. Silence fell like a curtain over them. Emma's pulse raced, and she could feel the weight of the moment, the tension, the disbelief. "What do you mean?" she managed to ask, her voice calm but laced with resolve. "Stories don't save businesses. You need facts and figures, not tales of nostalgia." He barked, his dismissive tone resonating with a bitter edge. Before she could respond, Jake stepped forward. "But what you don't understand is that these stories connect us. They inspire us to fight not just for a business, but for our community's heart. His voice rang true, and a ripple of murmurs traveled through the crowd, igniting their passion. As the tension hung heavy, Emma realized they had a choice to make. They could let the challenge intimidate them, or they could stand united. She stepped closer to the edge of the gathering, feeling the warmth of hope and solidarity from her neighbors. What if he's right? She thought for a split second, as worry nagged at her. But she blinked, looking around at the faces of those who believed in this place, in each other. We've already started something beautiful today, how do we push further? With renewed determination, Emma called out again, this time with an intensity that came from deep within her. Let us show them our strength. This is our home. Are we going to let it end? Cheers erupted, echoing off the diner walls. Joy and defiance mingled in the air, live wires sparking across the crowd. The energy shifted, and Emma could feel a wave of purpose crash over her. But just when everything seemed to ignite into a passionate plea for unity, a slight hush fell again as a familiar figure stepped up. It was Mrs. Harrington, an unassuming woman who'd been baking at the diner before Emma was even born. I have a story too, she said softly, but her eyes glimmered with fierce resolve. As she moved toward the microphone, Emma felt her heart hammering again. What revelation would Mrs. Harrington share? Would it be a story that would change everything? Emma held her breath, realizing this moment could pivot the entire course of their struggle. Mrs. Harrington took her place at the microphone, her fingers gently brushing the edge. The diner fell into a serious hush, the kind that carried weight, that hinted at the life lessons only experience could teach. Emma's heart felt heavy, the tension was palpable. Goodness, Mrs. Harrington murmured, her voice warm yet tremulous. I've watched this diner change over decades from the time I was a young girl helping my grandmother in the kitchen. The smell of fresh pies mingling with laughter filled this very space. Our family didn't just own this diner, we poured our love into every corner. Her eyes misted over, the memories rushing back vividly. But it wasn't just the food. It was the people. Thousands of memories, births, marriages, and even farewells. A soft gasp swept through the audience. She continued, I remember a cold winter night many years ago. A young couple stumbled in, cold and lonely. They sat at booth 5. I served them hot chocolate, and they shared dreams of a future together. They came back every week, and not long after, they married right here. Mrs. Harrington's gaze shifted to that very booth, a soft smile on her face. That couple and their family still come to this diner. Their children now spark joy in our little community. It's stories like these that make this place truly special. Emma could hardly breathe. The emotion hung heavy in the air as if everyone felt the memories tighten around them like a warm embrace. But, Mrs. Harrington's voice grew stronger, shaking away the melancholy. What I want you all to know is this diner is a part of you, just as you are a part of it. Everything that happens here weaves into the fabric of our community, our lives. It's not just about profits or fancy figures. No, it's about love, kindness, and family. The moment someone walks through that door, they invite hope into their lives. As she spoke, faces around the diner lit up with recognition. Emma felt hope swell in her chest. They could do this. They had each other. And I refuse to let it end, Mrs. Harrington declared with a fierceness that ignited the crowd. We all have stories that connect us. Each one of us can be a thread in this beautiful tapestry. I may be small, but I'll fight for this diner with every ounce of strength I have. Who's with me? A mighty cheer erupted, crashing like waves against the shore. People stood, their voices filled with fervor, shouting their agreement, clapping their hands in support. Emma felt tears prick her eyes as she watched this beloved community stand together. There was a resilience here, a force that was undeniable. The new owner in the dark suit scowled, his arrogance faltering for just a moment. Emma knew they would have to confront him soon, but for now, this moment was theirs. Just when things felt like they might shift for the better, a loud crash interrupted the joyful cheers. A heavy table tipped over, causing panic to ripple through the crowd. Emma's heart dropped as she turned toward the chaos, seeing a child shrinking in fear, surrounded by the debris. "Someone help!" she shouted instinctively, rushing toward the noise as the crowd started to break apart. Amidst the disarray, Emma felt the stakes rising. Would they collapse into panic or find their footing in solidarity? Every second mattered, and she needed to act quickly. As she knelt beside the child, she could feel the fortitude of the community behind her ready to rise again. Would they hold on to their stories, or was this moment the true test of their unity? The clamor faded, and Emma's focus sharpened as she knelt beside the frightened child, a little girl with wide, tear-filled eyes. "Hey there," Emma said softly, brushing strands of hair from the child's forehead. "You're okay. Just take a deep breath. I'm right here." Around them, the crowd stilled, hearts pounding as the spirit of the rally hung in the air. The sound of shuffling feet and hushed whispers filled the space, but Emma kept her attention on the girl. Moments later, a familiar face squeezed through, Marcy rushing forward, her concern etched deep. "I got this," Marcy said as she gently scooped the child up, cradling her before whispering calming words. Emma felt a weight lift as the little girl's sobs turned into quiet sniffles, and soon she was wrapped in the loving vigil of the community. Emma straightened, looking around as people rallied together to assist with the fallen table. The onlookers shifted from panic to support. Hands reached out, lifting and repositioning furniture, their collective strength undeniable. The strained atmosphere shifted back to something resilient, a sense of solidarity reigniting within everyone. An enthusiastic cheer erupted as the disturbance subsided, prompting Emma to reclaim the microphone, her voice rich with determination. "We can't let fear break our spirit. Together, we're invincible." The words reverberated through the crowd, drawing nods and murmurs of agreement. Emma glanced over at the representatives, their faces clouded with uncertainty. She sensed the tide turning in their favor, and she pushed forward, ignited by hope. Just as the love in this room has helped lift our community, it fuels our fight against those who want to erase us. We can show them that no corporate plan can break our bond. Her words rang true as cheers and applause erupted once more. In that moment, the new owner's disbelief was evident. He stood there, motionless, absorbing the very real, palpable force of the community before him. Every story shared today, every memory brought to life in this diner, that's what we have to show the world. Emma said, and the applause swelled even louder. "Let them see what this diner represents. It's baked into the very essence of our lives. We will not just back down. We'll stand tall against anyone who thinks our memories can be wiped away like dust." Jake stepped forward, his confidence unwavering. "Let us tell our stories online. Let us collect every memory, every moment that showcases why this diner is important. We'll create a website, a living tribute to all we hold dear." "Yes." A voice rang out from the back, echoing her thoughts. "We can share our tales and invite others to do the same." Emma's heart fluttered with excitement as she felt the energy grow louder, the people rallying together with renewed determination. "Let us start today. A plan with purpose, collecting our rice, making sure every face out there knows how much this diner means to us. We're fighting for connection." The crowd grew enthusiastic, bursting with admiration for one another's stories. Together, they formed a cohesive plan, excitement crackling through the air like an electric charge. The spirit of community met defeat head-on, a refreshing balm against their fears. As discussions flourished, the two corporate representatives lingered at the edge of the gathering, their earlier confidence evaporating like steam from a hot cup of coffee. The more the community spoke, the more Emma felt their bravery, their love pulsate within her, forming an unbreakable barrier against the encroaching threat. An unexpected voice suddenly became fervent again, lacing the air with unmistakable heat. "You can't bulldoze love," Mrs. Harrington declared, standing tall, voice steady. "This diner's history is worth more than any bottom line you're trying to inflate. Love as true currency is immeasurable, grounded in shared lives. That's what stands to gain. Cheers roared in response. Emma felt the empowerment swell, weaving their collective stories tighter than ever. Then came a voice from within the ranks, shaking all hearts. Let us call a town meeting. Bring everyone in. Get the mayor involved. We'll have everyone share their thoughts on this. Brilliant! Emma exclaimed, radiating confidence. Let us take this beyond the diner, unite our town around the importance of community. We can show them our strength, a union of love and commitment. Inspired, flyers began circulating within the crowd, and plans for the town meeting hatched and blossomed on the spot. Laughter, shouts of excitement, and the patter of hope mingled in the air as each person returned to their roots to help assemble the heartbeat of the diner. There was energy in every corner, and the initial panic dissipated into an ever-widening tide of hope. Minutes turned into hours, but Emma found herself swept away by the collective energy. Through every story shared, through every word spoken, Emma could feel a profound sense of belonging and purpose enveloping her. And finally, looking around at her neighbors, she knew without a doubt, they would protect the diner. They would fight for love, for community. That night, as the evening sun began its descent, Emma couldn't help but feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude. They had come together, armed with courage and stories that counted. Soon, communities would stand behind them, emboldened by an unwavering love that no corporate giant could crush. They would face tomorrow hand in hand, a woven tapestry of resilience and strength against the daunting storm. Together, Emma whispered, as they shared camaraderie and laughter into the twilight. Always together. And with that belief firmly etched in her heart, Emma felt ready for the next steps to come. Join this incredible journey, because it's only just begun. Don't wait not even one more second to support us. You need to subscribe to the channel immediately so you won't miss the next exclusive stories. Drop a like now to fuel this journey, and comment below your thoughts and feelings about this transformation. Let's share this empowering message. Share instantly this inspiring video with at least 5 friends who need to believe in the power of community. It's time to make waves together.